Okay. Hey, I wanted to just introduce my friends now. Ryan Carter, he is Australian, and frankly, that's the reason why I'm interviewing him, just because I like his accent. But we were talking a little bit about the that situation with that family that was kind of holed up in that shelter in Ukraine, and if I understand correctly, one of the girls there used to be your nanny?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so you have some updated information. So last time I shared that they were that they'd gotten out, but not the details of it. And you kind of shared some of the details and the fact that there were Israeli and U.S. extraction teams that failed to get them out, and then the Lord kind of intervened miraculously. So
Opened the door for them.
Yeah.
For sure.
So share just a little bit about what happened there.
Yeah, so the family's a large family. There's mum, dad, and some of the kids. And
See,
one of their oldest.
The accent's awesome, isn't it? Mom, did you hear that? Mom.
Okay.
Carry on.
So one of their daughters, Margot, was our nanny for 4 years in Ukraine. Our youngest daughter. Taught her Ukrainian, helped her with everything. So she's basically part of our family. So when the conflict started, I don't know how much you've shared, so I'll just sort of share a little bit, but they left Kiev thinking the village would be a safer place to be than the city. And unfortunately their village was occupied by the Russian troops, and they were stuck in a basement since basically the war began. And like you said, they had multiple efforts and tries to get them out. And
Johnny told me like 11 attempts.
Yeah, at least.
Wow.
Different teams, different people, they tried themselves, and they got to the stage where they're running out of food, running out of water. Just had nothing, no electricity, no gas, anything like that, just living in a basement, melting snow for water because that's all they had. So thankfully I heard yesterday that they were able to get out. They tried the day before, and the Russian borders, like the patrols, wouldn't let them through. And then they tried again yesterday and went up to the border and said, hey, we need to get out, we have no food, we have nothing. And we spoke to the Russian soldiers. And thankfully, initially they said, we can't let you through because the area is all mined and you can't get out. They just said, well, we have no option, we need to get out. So they offered to take them out, show them the way if they would agree to be blindfolded. So they agreed to the parents. So the family has, they foster a lot of kids. They've got about 12 foster kids with them at the moment. So there's a whole group of, I think, 17 total that were leaving. So the adults got blindfolded and led by the Russian forces through the minefield to a nearby village where one of the extraction teams could then actually meet them and get them out. So I think they're still in the village right now. I haven't heard updates so far today where things are at, but they should be then heading out to Western Ukraine within the next 24 hours or so.
And you were talking a little bit about the risks of the blindfolding.
Yeah, it's an occupation force. You have no idea what's going on. There have been multiple stories of just the village next door to them. So my wife talked to Margot this morning on the phone, and they said that they're hearing stories of Russian forces going to houses and shooting people in the village next door. So they had that fear to actually, it shows the desperation and how dire the need was to get out.
And I can't remember if it was you or Pastor Johnny was telling me that the troops were going house to house trying to find them, and they abducted one of the neighbors.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly the details of that, but they had heard that someone was asking around for a family with lots of people and where they were, and they got to the neighbor and taken one of the neighbors. So I'm not sure how that situation ended, but that's the kind of fear that they were living in, not knowing if they would be targeted and what the situation was going to be. They were just stuck there. And
how widespread would you say the situation is throughout the Ukraine? That kind of like stuff like that going on.
Well, outside of the big cities, there's been a lot less resistance from Ukraine. So a lot of these villages have just sort of been peacefully taken over, which is good in the way that they haven't been destroyed. But peacefully is, of course, a relative term. There's not missiles and bombing, but then there's a whole lot of other stuff going on, which I don't know enough of the situation personally to be able to put that in, just from what I've heard from people like Margot with tanks in the city, shooting going on, hearing that. Like the first time they tried to leave, there was a new guard post there, and there was just constant machine gun fire from where they were supposed to be heading, so they just turned around and went back. So this is the reality that a lot of people are still under at the moment in eastern Ukraine especially.
Oh, thank you, Ryan.
No
and
worries.
you guys, hope you just to continue to pray. I made the decision about an hour ago. I'm going to stay a couple more days, and Andy, who's actually behind the camera right now, and he's waving his hand. We're going to go tomorrow to Krakow, Poland, to look at some of the stuff going on up there, and then I will be returning home Thursday morning. So keep us in prayer. Catch you guys later. Bye.
See ya.